Good morning. It is very early in the morning here. It's actually not as cold as it looks. It's plenty cold. But oh my gosh, it's so dang beautiful this morning. We don't get a lot of snow here. I live in the tops of the mountains of Arizona. And it's dry. It's not whether or not it's cold or hot. It can be very cold here, but in the mountains, but it's so dry. So this is like maybe our second snow of the year. So beautiful. Wasn't expecting it. Going to bed at night didn't seem like that. It was a snowy day. Woke up to this. Opened my curtains at my window and like, oh. So, the quote I have today, I don't remember who said it off the top of my head right this instant. I will put that in the description. But he said something like, it is difficult to find contentment within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. And this is a reminder that we are the ones responsible for the thoughts we think, for the feelings we feel, for the behavior that we display, for the beliefs we hold, for the energy we carry, and anything else you can think of. We are responsible for our contentment. And if you do not know how to create or induce or, be the master of your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own behavior, your own beliefs, your own energy, if you do not know how to do that, which we've all been in that position, I call that the weak position. For some reason my eyes are watering. But we've all been weak, we've all been ignorant, we've all wondered what to do, and if we were strong we have to do it. But we all start there and you just begin and you practice and you get stronger. And so if you don't know how to do that, find places where you can learn and start doing that. The other thing I like about this quote is it uses the word contentment and not the word happiness or some other word. And I prefer the word contentment. It's much more calmer to me in my mind, the way I received words, than happiness or something like that. And I think it's more useful than happiness. I really don't. Something is in the air that's making my eyes water. You get me super real on these videos. Okay, so, we all know that Earth life is not a project or experience of getting our own way. In fact, Earth will make sure and keep confronting you with absolutely never getting your own way. Now, that actually, getting your own way and insisting to get your own way, is the psychology of a 2-year-old. But most of us have never left that. And while you can make decisions and work toward the outcome of those decisions, life is always going to have an unpredictable element to it, and it comes at you. And we are tempted to categorize those things as good and bad, like some bad is coming at me, some good is coming at me. And there are some parables that I love that kind of twist your mind to show you that it's not always good and bad. For example, just something really, really quick, like somebody's son broke their leg. Oh, that was bad. Well, then this was in a village in ancient times. The army came by and was drafting all the sons from every villager and took all their sons away except the one that had the broken leg. So that was good, right? So it's twist your mind about what is bad and good. It's not helpful even to use those categories. Just let life come at you as life and taste it, enjoy it. Even the challenges, because the challenges mean you're alive, for one thing, and it could mean some other things. The other thing that I thought of as contentment versus what else? You know, at least for me, maybe this is just me, but I feel like most people in this world, or a lot of people in this world, are on the quest, although I'm trying to think of another word that sounds even more desperate than that, on the quest for ecstasy, or sometimes I call it the rush. And I feel like this is another, this search for the ecstasy or the rush is another one of those major elements of why the world is broken. Because if you put the rush at the very top, in other words, if you put the rush at the very top, the ecstasy at the very top, and everything else becomes secondary, that is a skewed way of approaching the world. It's understandable because when you first feel ecstasy, you know, it's something you want again. It's understandable. But it's like having tons and tons and tons of frosting without any cake, or tons and tons of cake without any vegetables. It has its place, and it's okay to frost a cake, but you don't want to be getting sick from just that. And that's what we do. We are getting sick from our ecstasy. We feel that ecstasy is an indication that something is right or something is good. That if it has a component of ecstasy, it is good. And that is the mark of it being good. And this is not the case. There are many, 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 many things that have ecstasy as their component that will destroy you. And we are all finding that out too. Again, not all of us, but a lot of us. It's been a thing in my life. And I know that, and I'm not saying how we all go after this ecstasy in different ways. There's lots of ways and means that we might go after it. But on the other hand, ecstasy is not all bad. For example, if you're sitting in a concert of classical music, if that does it for you, or whatever music, and you're there, you can be transported to some sublime experience, right? And so, and it's not like you should reject that, you should let it in, you know? So, for me, as far as I've gotten anyway, the way to handle ecstasy is first to decide if what you're doing and experiencing is safe and wholesome and right, and by that I mean something that's not going to harm you or other people. That's my litmus for what's right, is the element of harm or harmlessness. What is right gives life, and then of course, and then there's harm. So, and then also integrity and kindness and those kind of things. You have to have integrity first. I think that would be a better word. You need to find something, you need to make a judgment of something, of whether or not it has integrity first. And be content. And then if the ecstasy creeps in the middle of your integrity, that's cool. That's like where you want it. But if you're always searching for the ecstasy, whether or not, you know, at the cost of integrity, that's a good way to break the world. And again, I still find this inside of me. I mean, I don't have some of my major situations anymore that I used to deal with, but I'll be standing in my house and looking around, and I'll have this feeling in the pit of my stomach that I'm not ecstatic enough. Like I want a hit, whatever it would be. And for me, it could be even just reading a book, which doesn't sound that bad, but it's like I'm just trying to distract myself. I'm trying to keep myself away from my feelings and not deal, or not just look at the world the way it is, and find the miracle and the sweetness and the ecstasy and everything. To find the ecstasy in a fork, to find the ecstasy in the snow out here. You know, this is just gorgeous. It doesn't have to be anything. I don't have to be doing anything. I just need to be out here. Everybody's going to school this morning. And so that's one thing to look at yourself, and it's an emotional chemical thing. So it's something that you turn inside and be aware of. Like, why am I choosing this? Because I can't stand the deadness. Like, I want to get that hit. I call it getting a hit because that's exactly what it feels like. It's like there's something in your stomach that you can't feel, and you need to euphorize it. Euphoria, and you'll use whatever. But rather maybe just head for some contentment. Do your breathing. Be still. Be able to be with yourself. And that's another thing that people can't do, is be with themselves. And again, it just takes practice. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say, and just go for that contentment and then integrity. And then if some sublime feeling creeps in, that's awesome, but try not to be going for the rush all the time. And we'll see you later.